So let's go ahead and talk about Andrew Tate. He is going to be in jail and Romanian police hold for 30 days. So yesterday he was arrested for allegedly participating in human trafficking and which of course somebody is going to deny. These are really extreme charges, really bad charges, stuff that you obviously don't want to ever be arrested for, but Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan and two others were detained by the court in Bucharest, Romania. A tweet was sent from Andrew Tate's Twitter account alluding to the 1999 movie The Matrix. The Matrix sent their agents, he said. Now, this tipped off some people, some meat writers, to maybe think that he was actually out of police detention. Well, according to this article, he is still in there for at least another 30 days. In 2016, he was removed from the British TV show Big Brother over a video which appeared to show him attacking a woman. He then set up a webcam business, which he described as adult entertainment. Now, remember that part is going to be pretty important later. He went on to gain global notoriety online, with Twitter banning him for saying women should bear responsibility for being sexually assaulted. He has since been reinstated. But despite social media bans, he gained popularity, particularly among young men, by promoting an ultra-masculine, ultra-luxurious lifestyle. Now, ultra-masculine in the sense that he's basically just a Eurasian misogynist, a Eurasian sexist, somebody who basically views women as property. And he talks about his expensive cars, his private jets. In terms of evidence, Andrew Tate, isn't the smartest person, and you think that if you know that the police are watching you for, I don't know, maybe doing and participating in human trafficking, you might want to never bring it up to begin with. We have someone on Twitter who went, back into the archives and found Andrew Tate's old website. Now, I have it right here. This is Andrew Tate's website. The PhD program, he called it. We're going to go down here and just read a bit of it because it's pretty wild. My name is Andrew Tate. I'm a retired 4 times world champion kickboxer who is now a multimillionaire. And I'm the most competent person on the entire planet to teach you about male-female interaction. How did I become rich? Webcam. Why am I an expert on all male-female interactions? I've been running a webcam studio for nearly a decade. I've had over 75 girls work for me. Remember that number, 75 girls work for me. And my business model is different than 99% of webcam studio owners. Well, I wonder why that is. Over 50% of my employees were actually my girlfriend at the time. All of my girlfriends, none were in the adult entertainment industry before they met me. Well, once again, you got to wonder why that is. Pretty strange. Out of 75, not a single one has ever done this type of work before. Your business model is a bunch of newbies. Well, that's kind of strange. That is strange. Here we go to the good part here. My job was to get women to fall in love with me. Remember that part as well. Literally, that was my job. My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me to where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together. Whether you agree or disagree with what I did, with their loyalty, submission, and love for me doesn't matter. You cannot reject the results. Well, there's a group out there, Dicot, they rejected the results. And the results are simple. My girlfriends would do more for me than 99% of men's wives would do for them. I'm pretty sure I could show all these pictures on YouTube. There's the King Tate tattoo, which is pretty weird. Here is another tattoo with Tate on it. And here is another Tate tattoo. So this kind of brings like some kind of weird pimp-like vibes where he has these women doing branding basically. which is something that you see a lot in the pimp world and people who, I don't know, might do human trafficking. But as I digress, let's go ahead and go down further. What did I learn in this job? First thing, keeping four girlfriends all happy is hard work and leaves you with very little time. So you know how to streamline getting new good girlfriends. All women are not created equal. This is how I came up with what is now the PhD system. I learned the most time efficient way to meet girls, get them through the dating process, get them to bed, test if they're a good girl or not, and begin the process of them falling deeper and deeper into love. That is my skill. To extremely efficiently get women in love with me, that's it. And no one else on the internet is teaching this. No one. So he's basically admitting right here that he is kind of doing a manipulation tactic and psychologically manipulating these women. I can assume they're young women, probably around maybe, I would say, 18 to about 25, I would say, around that age group. And here's some more pictures of his extremely superficial lifestyle. The PhD system, how it would change your life. Realistically, it's not going to change your life. The type of person that is going to fall for this is a type of person that will fall for basically any scam that makes them feel better about themselves because they're probably insecure. They probably have. You know, they're probably not the type of people that are actually good with women to begin with. Because if you are good with women and you actually talk to women, you actually touch grass, you know, if you're a grass toucher, okay? If you are a grass toucher, you're not going to be on this website, okay? It's not happening. And here are a bunch of promises that he makes to you before he gets your money: how to text women, how to build your social medias to pick up women, best first dates to bring women on, best follow-up dates, how to approach women. There's a framework that all male-female interactions are based on, how to test to see if a woman is high quality, my opening lines, how to get women in bed, the critical mistake most men make, how to stay on her mind without interaction, and why this all works so well. And he's offering full Telegram support. So he is even offering customer support. So this is like the ultimate like pickup artistry on steroids, essentially. But you might have noticed how creepy this shit is, to the point where like he's having these women get branded with the Tate signature. Scandalous blogger Andrew Tate was detained in Romania. You already know this, for human trafficking and forming a criminal group. According to police, there are 6 victims. They were forced to participate in the filming of pornographic videos that were sold on the internet. Greta Thunberg, they're repeating this. This has been since debunked by the spokesperson of Dicot. But let's go ahead, since we're speaking about Dicot, to go over to Dicot's page. Now, of course, this is translated from Romanian, so there might be a few mistakes in English here. But let's talk about this part here, because this part is very important to the case, to what is being accused of Andrew Tate. On 29/12/2022, we're going to read it. The prosecutors of the Directorate for the Investigation of Organized Crime and Terrorism, Dicot, central structure together with police officers from the Bucharest Organized Crime Brigade, implemented 5 home search warrants in a case in which investigations under the aspect of committing the crimes of constituting an organized criminal group, human trafficking, and in the case, it was noted that at the beginning of 2021, 4 suspects, 2 British people, which is Andrew Tate and his brother, and 2 Romanian people, constituted a criminal group organized in order to commit on the territory of Romania, but also of other countries such as the United States of America and Great Britain, of the crime of human trafficking. Victims were recruited by British, the brothers. Let's be real here. They're talking about Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan, by misrepresenting their intention to enter a marriage cohabitation relationship and the existence of genuine feeling of love the Loverboy method. So this is a method that is so commonly used to get these women to do the things that the Tate brothers wanted them to do. There's a literal name for it, and it's called the Loverboy method. Now, if you remember about 2 minutes ago, I talked about this on Andrew Tate's own website. So this is something that he's damn near admitting to on his own website. Now, this is archived. He's smart enough to at least take it down, but it's already up here now. This is his website. He literally says right here, my job was to get women to fall in love with me. And then you fast forward back to the Dicot analysis, this press release, and they were like, yeah, he was doing the Loverboy method, which is exactly what Tate was talking about. They were later transported and housed in buildings in Laval County, where by exercising acts of physical violence and mental coercion through intimidation, constant surveillance, control, and evoking alleged debts. They were sexually exploited by group members by forcing them to perform demonstrations pornographic for the purpose of producing and disseminating material of such nature through social media platforms, and by submitting to the execution of a work in a forced manner in order to obtain important financial benefits consisting of the sums of money obtained as a result of accessing the materials by users. So once again, this follows suit with what Tate presented on his own website. He says right here, I'll highlight it for you. My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me, to where she would do anything I say. And then I would get her on webcam so we can become rich together. And when he says together, he mainly means himself and his brother. And everybody else who is a male, I assume, knowing Andrew Tate, to get rich. Well, maybe the women got a bit of money. Maybe they could get a pizza. Maybe they could get specifically Jerry's pizza. Okay, but look, let's get back to Dicot here. So far, 6 injured persons have been identified who were sexually exploited by the organized criminal group. With regard to the crime of rape, it was noted that in March 2022, an injured person was forced on 2 different occasions by a suspect through the exercise of physical violence and psychological pressure to have sexual relations at the headquarters of the Directorate for the Investigation of Organized Crime and Terrorism central structure. 4 people who are reasonably suspected of being involved in criminal activity were taken for questioning. Following the hearings, the prosecutors of Dicot ordered the 4 persons to be detained for a period of 24 hours. We now know is that for Andrew Tate, at least, it has been extended to 30 days. The activities were also attended by police officers from the Lvov Organized Crime Service, I'm probably mispronouncing that, and the Service of Combating Human Trafficking. We make it clear that during the entire criminal process, the investigated persons benefit from the procedural rights and guaranteed provided by the Code of Criminal Procedure, as well as presumption of innocence. In talking about Andrew Tate basically being open with the crimes he was potentially committing, allegedly committing, he's not a very smart person because he talks about it all the time. So as I've showed you already, here is his website where he openly stated what he was doing, which perfectly matches the description of Dicot, the people that have been doing an investigation on him to the point where they felt confident enough to do a full-on raid of his house. Here is Andrew Tate talking about it himself. If you don't believe the PhD program, here's Andrew Tate talking about it himself.
7 years ago, whenever this was,
Yeah.
it wasn't nearly as big. And I found this little webcam thing, and I was like, this might be some money. So I text all my girlfriends, I think it was 5 of them, text all 5, said, you're all coming here to live with me and work with me. None of them knew about each other. Bro, Tristan will tell you this story. He'll tell you. All 5 flew in, picked them all up. They're all sitting there. I sat them around the same table. bro, I need to get.
Yeah, and this is the Fresh and Fit podcast. This is Tweedledee, Tweedledum, both idiots, and here's Andrew Tate talking to them. So yeah, that is the preface I want to make here.
Paid, right? I'm broke now. I'm retired from fighting. I have no money. I'm running out of money. So I put them all around the same table, and I was like, look, we're going to start a webcam business. You're going to stay. You're going to live in London. I'm going to look after you, and we're going to get rich, rich. We're going to be a team. And they're all like, well, who's this bitch? I'm like, she's my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. She's my girl. You're all my chicks. And you're going to stay here, and we're going to make some money. Big fight kicks off, blah, 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 blah. In the end, long story short, 3 left, 2 stayed. Those are my first 2 girls. And we started this little webcam business from my apartment. And it just grew and grew and grew. And it got to the point where at one point I had 75 women working for me in 4 locations. Damn. And I was doing $600,000 a month from webcam.
So remember that 75 number I talked about? Let's see where it's set here. Right. Oh, here we go. Right here. So remember that number I talked about where he said he had over 75 girls work with him and 50% were his girlfriend at the time, and none of them were in the adult entertainment industry before, which would perfectly explain why they probably didn't want to do the sex work and they were probably tricked into it to commit to this demonstrations of pornographic content that would be uploaded on the internet. Yeah. So that is Andrew Tate talking about what he was doing from his own mouth. This is Andrew Tate basically, admitting to doing the stuff that he put on his own PhD program that just happens to fit perfectly with Dicot, using the Loverboy method, which is a classic way to do human trafficking. And I know the crazy thing is people will still defend this. Now, you might think nobody would ever defend this, but they will. There are so many meat riders, people who constantly ride Andrew Tate's dick for no reason, and I don't understand it, because this is a person who is extremely sexist, extremely misogynistic, a blatant scam artist who is taking advantage of insecure men who don't know any better, but people still fall for it. And it's absolutely crazy that you have these people who still dick ride them. Case in point here is Aiden Ross is one of the biggest ones out there. So here is Andrew Tate. He said the Matrix sent their agents. Aiden Ross said, oh, thank God. Oh, call me later, brother. Now, then you have Asmongold here. And Asmongold compares the arrest and accusations of what Andrew Tate was doing, potentially, which is allegedly human trafficking and rape, to Martin Luther King Jr. He said that the government has history of framing people, and perhaps that there's a chance that Andrew Tate was framed. Now, if Andrew Tate was framed, he framed himself by putting out his business on the internet. And it is very stupid that he did it. Let's go to the quartering. Now, the quartering was really happy that the authorities confirmed the pizza box had nothing to do with the Andrew Tate arrest. So he called it fake news. I mean, I guess a developing story is a W for you. As well, at least I said in my last video, it was an ongoing story, and an ongoing story, things change. So I guess he can enjoy that W, but the W, the L that is still being taken place here is that his boy, Aiden Ross's boy, is still in jail under police holding for allegedly human trafficking. Now, here is once again, a Dicot spokesperson said, funny, but no, when asked about the Greta Thunberg pizza story. Now, it is pretty funny. Now, let's be honest, it is pretty funny. But Dicot probably had a bunch of different ways to track him down. Andrew Tate's pretty loud. He talks a bunch. Last but not least, here is the quartering talking about everybody is celebrating the arrest and detainment of Andrew Tate, doesn't have the slightest care for whether or not he is actually guilty. It's actually sick. I mean, if he's guilty, sure, but these people don't actually care. They just don't like the guy, in quotations, and are cheering for his arrest. Now, look, I just presented you some evidence that Andrew Tate is perhaps maybe guilty, maybe he's not guilty. Like I said before, it is a developing story, and we will have to find out whether or not he actually did it. But it's not looking good when on your own website, we can go back to it, you admit to doing the Loverboy strategy, and you have women to get branded. And the feds are saying, yeah, this is what you did. And on your own website, you're saying, yeah, this is what I did. It's not a good look. You got to be a complete dumbass to put that on your own website to begin with. So for the time being, it's not looking good for Andrew Tate, and this is not looking like a classic Tate W. So if you're a Tate fan, I understand that you want to ride the meat, but sometimes you got to hop off.